So as we're getting to live in our house, there's certain items. I love the bread box that I did, but I have so much cabinetry and the whites don't really match. Like I matched my bread box to what I painted my cabinetry. So I'm not going to use the bread box. I've got so much. I have cabinets that are empty. I'm not bragging, I just do. So I just recently thrifted this cute little stool. Love it. Didn't need to paint it. I needed a place to hide my Alexa. So I thought that was perfect. It can be tucked behind there. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen me stage this little area. So the cute little black stool matches my vintage Bibles. I love those things. I have them throughout my whole house just in remembrance. And then I have some ironstone platter stack, little plate stacks that I thought was perfect for that pop of white. That goes with the cabinetry more. Another little, like, I think this was maybe a sugar that was missing its top. Little ironstone piece. Super excited about that. You know, yeah, I love my ironstone, so I always love where I can have it, where I can see it. I love the berries in those. I get those berries off of Amazon. Then I have my little cutting board that I got from Joann's The Greenery Closing, my 1803 favorite candle, and my little mouse. And I'll share one more style with you of a recently thrifted item was this rosary. It's just a plastic rosary. It was black. It came with another blue one. And as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly where I wanted it. I wanted to wrap it around my little blackbird that is top of my old Bible and just have it kind of dangling there. It's always nice to have remembrance of saying prayers. He has done so much for us. So do you know what you want to do with this space?
Why don't you tell me what I should do with this space and I will just do it.
Hi YouTube family, thank you for hopping on and checking out what we are up to. Oh, it's just been busy around here, and it's like, what do I work on first? So I'm behind. I'm trying to get fall done. I stopped for a little bit to do the IOD. Collabing with them is always wonderful. IOD just has a beautiful line, y'all. So yeah, so I'm working on fall projects, Halloween projects, just trying to bring you some inspiration. I don't know, maybe I'm behind and everybody else has moved on to Christmas and Valentine's Day, and you know, anyway, there's that. But I still love to craft and I love to share my ideas with you all. So in today's video, cabinetry, that is where I am at. I'm on my studio part. Chris has been working on his workshop part. As you see, the hardware is up on my cabinets. That's awesome. We still need to order a countertop, but it's all about going and picking out, and you know, and I still am waiting for my boxes for organization. I've been looking for a certain type of box, and maybe I have one out here. I'll show it to you. My certain type of box that I've been looking for came from the Dollar Tree. So you open it like this. So since the cabinetry has pull-out drawers, instead of grabbing out the box every time I need something, I'll be able to label what's in the box. I'll be able to open it up while it's in the shelf, and then take what I need, close it back up, close the shelf, then I eliminate clutter. So I've been looking all over for these boxes, visiting Dollar Trees, trying to find them. I ended up going online and ordering from the Dollar Tree, and I think you have to get like 30 of them, and you don't get to pick your colors. But oh well, you know, at least I'll have plenty of those boxes. And then I was wanting medium and large sizes of them. So I did find Walmart had some larger sizes of them, so I ordered 6 for some of my bigger vintage treasures that I like to put together for you all on the other channel. So I'm waiting for those to come, but they're the same concept where they're hinged. I don't have to worry about what lid fits to what. So this is what I mean. So I can have all these little boxes, these little totes. I can label them. I haven't done that yet, but then I know where stuff is. It's awesome. Not that everything needs to be in a little box by any means, but it's just nice you know, since we have the pull-out drawers, it's nice to be able to organize them some way. Do y'all have that? You know, when we moved here and then auction halls and then taking stuff into a retail booth, next thing you know, and then our son Alex was a reseller, so we had all these boxes, these totes, these plastic totes, and then we had all these lids, and somehow we ended up with a whole bunch of lids that didn't go to any of the totes. I'm like, what the heck? You know, and I don't like to just fill up the landfill if I don't have to, you know, but you're like, where's the tote that goes to this lid? I don't understand. So yeah, so that was my other concept. I love that concept of the lid staying on. You don't have to worry about the lid taking it off, missing it. Does it fit to this one? Does it not fit to that one? I know that may seem a little OCD, but in my head it was just going to work a little bit better. I just didn't want, I want to try to eliminate clutter when I'm working on a project, because I know when I have a project I have so much ideas in my mind and I gather everything up that I possibly can think that I might use on that one project. Whether I use it or not, that's a whole different story. But, and then sometimes in the middle of the project, I'm running around looking for other things I want to add to it. So with that being said, I know I'm, you know, it's a vlog channel, y'all. So Chris is working on his side of the shop. I mean, it's not like, it's a shared, so y'all, it's not like we have a piece of tape down the middle. It is a shared space. So he has his workspace, I have my workspace, and that's what was happening at our other home, is we both couldn't be in here at the same time. So I would try to get my projects done during the week when he was going to be home on weekends to work on his projects, or I was trying to be out of there at when he was going to be home at night. You know, so he had space to work. There just wasn't enough room for both of us to, especially when, like, the things I was having him do, he was building something, he was cutting pieces of wood, you know, there's not enough room. So my paint needed to be dry before he was going to be creating dust. So this workshop, once we have it completed, will be a dream for both of us to be in here, our unfinished goods to be somewhere else, our finished goods to be somewhere else. So with the barn being where the unfinished goods are, in our 4-car garage, which I think was their pole barn back in the day, being where our finished goods are, we can just create in here. He has his space of a workshop. I have my space of a studio where I get to showcase my wonderful paints. So in today's video, he's going to share with you what he's doing on his side of the shop. So I hope you're excited. Yet again, it's not a complete project. Rome was not built in a day, and neither will the GingerChickRehab workshop / studio will not be built in a day. So we shared with you the journey of putting the Menards cabinetry together. And Chris was over that. We still don't have all the pieces and parts that we need from it. So kind of ended up being a nightmare. So he decided to make a trip to Home Depot because he spied cabinetry that was already built and that he did not have to put together. So it is white in color, so it'll match. It doesn't have the flat fronts. They do have flat fronts, but they didn't have any buy now, carry out with you kind of, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to get his done. And so they are a perfect match with them being white. And he doesn't have to order countertop because he is using this leftover piece of bowling alley that he bought when we had a local bowling alley close down and completely be tore down, and now is a Dairy Queen. So he bought a couple of the pieces of it. He used one half of it for our other workshop, and then he's going to use the other half of it for this workshop. But he's going to cut it in half because his plan is all surrounded by his tools. So he wants his chop saw, his miter saw, to be in the middle of his workstation. So countertops going to go on each side. Cabinetries are going to go on each side. But yes, if you ever have felt a bowling alley, it is like one massive piece of butcher block. So Chris only purchased 3 cabinets. You would think since he split in half, he would have done 4, but he wants underneath storage some of his larger tools on rolling carts, and he wants to store some of them underneath his side, just for space saving. So he actually has to build a form to support the one side of the butcher block. So here he goes, getting to do what he loves, constructing items to create. So here's where the discussion came in, as he's going to start to hang things on the wall. So I had 2 of the bookshelves from that auction haul, and then he was going to use 2 of the bookshelves for upper cabinetry. Now, mind you, when I'm crafting, I'm looking out towards his space. I'm going to see what is over there. So for me, I want it to be visually appealing. You know, this is my whole working day out there, 8 hours easily. So what he was discussing, at first he was going to bump both of his cabinets together, and I personally would have thought that would have looked a little crowded over his countertop. So anyway, he determined that he was going to space them apart and then put his French cleat system in the middle. It's just a visual type of thing. And I know it is a workshop and it may not matter, but still, it does have to have a flow, and it has to, I'd like it to be kind of pretty. And I would just like to note that I'm not the only one that changes my mind. After he got this whole cabinetry up there, he decided that the flow was not going to be there once he got his cabinetry, that he needed to move it to the other side. So if you stand at my area across from his area, this is what I see. This is why I said visually I like the 2 bookshelf cabinets separated, French cleats in the middle. It's nice that his little rolling chair fits underneath there. He made these wonderful little cubbies for his little pieces and parts. So he wants to be able to line, because the bowling alley, there's a gap, and he knew that was going to happen, but he wanted to use the bowling alley. That is a strong butcher block. So he wants to run those all the way behind, because as you see, he's got lots of things for cubbies. So this was a nice extra space. Yep, it got moved. I'm not the only one that moves decor, y'all. So I moved decor in the house already, so I guess he can change his mind and move his space also. So here's his big sheet of plywood for his French cleat system. Oh, those are heavy pieces. If you don't have a gator lift, that helps you if you're just one person moving a sheet, even though plywood is really heavy, drywall, big sheets like that, that's a nice little tool. But so yes, his French cleats will go in there. And then I'm not sure what his plan is because this is all his French cleat items that hung in the other shop that he built. So I'm sure he will revamp them, he will reuse some of them, but this is what I mean by a French cleat. So this has a 45, he will cut the plywood down to another 45, hang the plywood strips on the wall, and then this rests on top of that. This one's upside down, y'all. But yeah, so he has lots of his little boxes that he made already, and that's where, so a lot of this clutter that we have right now seems like clutter, but it'll go away once he builds that space. And then just like this little area, these are the bins that, so he still has some plans of building some cubbies in here to put other items that I've already have in little totes, but we're working on it. We are working on it. And I told you, it's kind of a hot mess. I am working on fall. Fall has exploded. And I have so many ideas in my head to bring to you all. I would like him to build the little cubbies on the tall cabinets for. They're hardware pieces that we need. You never know what you're going to need. It is a need. Want, stash, hoard. But anyway, yeah, so that's another, so that's what I mean. We just need to start building pieces and parts little by little to have a place for everything. So like his tools, he has a few different tools here. And so then he'll have little rolling carts is his plan. He wants rolling carts. That's why he made the spacing underneath. And then he can have extra space for his tools. So instead of trying to lift them up every time, because some of these are heavy to have to lift up every time, and they were under benches and they were getting dusty, or, so then, yeah, he'll just have rolling carts that he can put them on. So that's going to take time to build. Wheels ordered, cart, move around. So, and he's 6'4", so he needs them to be tall, tall so he can use them. So yes, it'll be awesome once he little by little starts building on his carts for his bigger tool pieces to be able to roll them around the shop. If they're lined up, that's all good. It's better than trying to lift them from a little cubby space every time you need them, and there's parts that like, oh, I wish I could use that tool, but I could never lift it. I wouldn't have been able to lift it to put it up onto a table to use it. So it'll be nice because it'll be accessible for me to use also. And there's still the pallet wood. Oh, I'm super excited that there'll be some left over for me to have projects. I know the doors will take a lot, not as much as what the whole shelf did, but I was pretty excited about that. All my totes, which these are the Walmart ones. Yes, I don't want these. They worked, but this is what happens. It's too heavy. I've stacked them too much, and they're too heavy, and they fall forward. And so I'm hoping to organize it better too, get those in the totes, and then organize this shelf a little bit better with the bigger totes. I could not find any more of these boxes. I really wanted them to be in those boxes because they'd be lighter, but no, I guess I've looked. I'll have to start looking at thrift stores when I see them to pick them up. So when I was out and about, I had to drop off packages to the post office, and somehow my car just drove into our local antique mall. So I could not help myself. Sometimes for your mental health, for my mental health, I love to craft, and that's a great de-stressor, but I also love to shop. I love to find vintage finds, and yes, you can find items to decorate your home, to resell, to make over at antique stores. So I hit all our local stores, including, I'm not close anymore to Goodwill. I will not be going there daily by any means because it's a half-hour, 35-minute drive. So unless I have a purpose, like going to the post office and UPS, Yeah, I mean, I'd have to be going to my P.O. box, which is in the town that I used to live in, because the post office from here, from this house, is even closer. So there's no reason for me to have to go into the area where Goodwill is. So I just won't be going there as much. So I'm like, oh, I really want to find some treasures. So I'm just going to share with you quickly what my haul is. I'm not really going to go one by one. I'm just going to share some of the treasures. I know you all see this jadeite biscuit cookie jar. It does not glow, so it is not terribly vintage. I don't think it's Martha Stewart. I don't see her marking on the bottom of it, and I do see age. I definitely see age to this piece. Yes, it was at my local Goodwill. When I'm looking for these canisters, I'm looking for the older ones in the waviness, and that was my purchases at my local Goodwill. And so the rest of this I found antique shopping. Oh, other than the vintage Bible, came from a viewer. Mary Jo sent this wonderful Bible to me. I appreciate it. I already gave her a thank you via Messenger. This one's kind of neat because it had like drawings, descriptions in the back. So that was really a neat Bible. Hold on, I know there was animals in here. Where's the animals? There we go. Yes. Even though Chris does not like bats, he was like, really, they had to be in there. I'm like, every animal has its meaning. So yes, I just found some treasures, just some little treasures, some things to create with, some things to resell. Love, oh my gosh, these were priced perfectly. Look at two of them. I only grabbed one at first, and I'm like, I'm going to grab back. Like I said, project pieces, great resale price. I'm on the fence. I really kind of want to paint that over, but it does have a wonderful folk art vibe. These are actually wooden shaker style stacking boxes, nesting boxes. I would love to paint those over. I love the nails. Apparently a couple of the amber bottles, a couple crockery little bowls. Remember, when you're shopping at other people's booths, some people don't see things the same as other people. So like, this was $2. I collect and hoard on watering cans. So $2. Awesome. And then there was a booth I'll set up for Christmas. And so for half price, I'm still working on my holiday, my Halloween and fall decor. So that was perfect. Look at this cast iron soap dish. Way cool. A little bell. And then, of course, my favorite find that I will be keeping for myself, along with that watering can, is a little mini shaker. Hold on. Let me go to my other shakers, and I'll show you that it is mini. It is mini. So see, it's a mini. Not that I'm going to display it like that by any means, and I'd have to find more. But I love my display of my shakers. This whole scene right here. Let me turn on a light so y'all can see. Chris's table, the old shakers. Now, these were all auction finds, because if you see these in an antique mall, they're usually about $70 to purchase. So this little one had a price tag of $18. So yeah, that was coming home with me for sure. So it's always nice to share my treasures with you all, because a lot of you have the same addictions as I do of treasure hunting and looking for things in the wild. So I know y'all will appreciate it. So I want to thank Becky for sending me a card on the loss of Squirt. Oh, that was so heartwarming to get this. Thank you so much, Becky.